Okay, welcome back to this video series, part three, where we're going to be focusing on the pathway. Now, if you haven't watched the previous videos, obviously I recommend you do so before you watch this so you can have a better context of what we are talking about here. So, what we're doing is showing you the whole football performance system that we have for our footballers to go world class. Okay, to have a system that can help you develop your performance to the next level. And it's a full, and I mean full ecosystem for you to help you on your process. All right, so I, if you don't know me, my name is Sierra Becerra, and I'm a performance coach. I work with a lot of athletes, from world club players and winners, gold medal, Olympic winners, Liga MX, Premier League, all kinds of different footballers. Okay, so this is me, obviously, in the middle, in case you don't know me, and this is our full system, or I guess an overview of how we actually help out our players when we do work directly with them. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm showing you guys, and there's no secret. Okay, I am really happy to just kind of show you the whole system and how it works, the whole framework. And this is precisely what we're doing right now, showing you this pathway on this level three, or I guess video number three. So we've already discussed the direction or where you are and how we go about showing you how to actually know where to start. We create a player profile, and then from there, we start structuring your own operating system, okay, to help you just have a clear path on um, how to improve your game. Okay, so here we go. Pathway. So, how do we get there? Okay, since we already know where we are at, now we need to have a structure, a certain way on how to actually get to our desired goals and objectives. Like I said, if you haven't watched the previous videos, make sure you do so so that you can understand what we do on the first stage, which is direction. Okay, so here we go. There's several different parts to it. Now, these are some, obviously, it's not the whole thing, but this is some of these elements that we consider important for us to start structuring the pathway, okay, on how we actually get there, whatever there is for you, okay, whether that is being a D1 soccer player, a professional, I don't know, MLS, Liga MX, Premier League, you name it, a pro footballer, okay? So I'm going to be focusing on the first one, which is development, trying to determine where you are on the long-term athletic development process. Okay, so here we go. All right, developmental stage. So the purpose of this is to know what matters at this stage right now, okay, for you. Okay, and what do we expect from here is to have just a stage view of what are our priorities and what are the milestones for this phase that we're in. So let's say, for example, you are you're here, okay, and you're 16 years old. You should be now on a competitive environment. If you're not there yet, then this should become our priority to get you there as soon as possible. Okay, because if you aspire to be a top footballer, now obviously you need to be in a competitive environment. Okay, that should be our number one priority. Obviously, there's many things that go beforehand to actually get there, but obviously this is why we do these types of consultations to help you just develop a plan to get to the right focus on depending on the stage that you're in. Okay, so we already covered this in a lot more detail. I'm talking about the footballer world class model that we have structured here. Okay, so just go back to that one, go back to the first video that we did. All right, so moving along now, once we know what stage we're in, we establish our priorities like I've mentioned to you before. Like, for example, number one, if you're not in an academy, a competitive academy, that would be our number one priority. Let's say, for example, you are again 16, 17 year old, you're not hitting the gym. Well, obviously that should be our priority number two, so on and so forth. I mean, we try to just kind of get a good idea first and foremost. That's why we cover the first stage, to understand where you are right now and what are our priorities from there. And that's how we start structuring your own pathway. Okay. Now, once we do that, then we go through our milestones. Okay, so we work through 90-day blocks so we can kind of see what things are working, what things are need work, and we create a path with different milestones. Okay, what are our KPIs? What are our key performance indicators? Okay, we stand here. This is our baseline. Then we need to get or hit these numbers, or we need to create or do certain types of behaviors in order for us to get to our desired destination. Okay, then from there, we go to B, our season map. Obviously, we need to know what's ahead of us. Okay, what does the season look like? All right, so just map the road ahead and then start developing our program. Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road. It's not about just training. It's about training smart. Okay, with a plan, with a system. Okay, so the output for this, or what you get from this stage, is the season calendar. Okay, you get your own season calendar. We help you develop your weekly structure, and of course, you get a training program. Okay, and this is kind of like what it looks like. Obviously, it's gonna look different for you. So we sit down and try to see, what are some of the most important or relevant dates for you. So, maybe you start the season, maybe you have tryouts, maybe you have important tournaments coming up, maybe you got an international trip, whatever that is, we schedule that in so we can prioritize certain elements into your training program. Okay. So this is, my son, doing his own season calendar. Okay. Then, like I said, we develop a weekly structure. We give you kind of like a template and also your own customized structure on a typical type of week for you. Maybe you have a match every Saturday, or maybe you have, I don't know, different two matches. We try to see where you stand because everybody's different, obviously, and give you an idea on what to do on which day. So, for example, you have a match on a Saturday, that's match day. And every one of those colors is there for a reason. Okay, they're color coded, so we teach you how to actually read this. And obviously this might look like a lot and probably overwhelming at first, but once you get this, you'll understand why you're doing certain things on certain days. Okay, so this, we work around obviously your schedule. Let's say, for example, you're in school or maybe you work already. We try to design a program that fits our needs, okay, or your needs. From there, okay, we then design your own training program. Obviously, depending on which program you're in, if you're an accelerator program, if you're in our next level program, it just depends. We do different things at different types of programs. Okay, so this is how it will look like as an example. So, for example, one session flow, we have pre-pitch type of activities or exercises. We have on-pitch training, and we have post-pitch training. Obviously, it's different. We have illustrations, we have videos, we have all kinds of different things to help you in your process, depending on your level, depending on your position, your experience, so on and so forth. So this is pretty much kind of like a more of a specific view on the type of exercises. So if you click on one of those links, so let's say, for example, if you're in an accelerator program, you get a digital format, so you can actually click on some of this or all of the exercises and see the actual video being performed with correct form, so you can actually, when you are doing maybe your pre-pitch or your post-pitch or your pitch type of activities, you understand what you got to do, precisely for your exercises on a particular day, depending on the session type. That is, whether it's a yellow type or a green type or a red type, so on and so forth. Okay. So this is, my son actually performing a long distance type of acceleration or sprint. All right. So next, we have to talk about your support team, because when you are pursuing going into a higher level, okay, you need to think that we need to reverse engineer. So, how does a top pro level footballer or soccer player look like? Okay, they have a support team around them. Okay, they have an accountability partner, maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, but an accountability partner, let's say for example, could be your teammate, it could be your own parent, like your father, your mother, it could be your agent, it could be your coach. Okay, so we talk about that. We need to establish who's going to hold you accountable. Okay, and this works, guys. This is there for a reason. All right, we need to find out, your, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but we need your family on board. We need, because this is a family project as well. We need the club on board. We need a mentor support or a coach. We need a community around it, and we need a multidisciplinary team. But we'll talk about this. All right. So the purpose of this is to create accountability and support, and the output is to visualize and structure your own support ecosystem. All right. So it's very difficult for you to make it on your own, especially if you're a young aspiring footballer. Okay, you need people around you to support you. Right now, if you're, I don't know, 14, 15-year old footballer, well, you have your parents driving you around. Okay, that's part of your support team. Maybe your grandparents, whatever that is. We need to, get everybody on board with this project. All right, so this is me again with my older son, and we need to be accountable. Okay, we need to hold each other accountable. Okay, within their process. This is him signing his first contract, pro contract at 15 years old in Mexico. All right, and family, club, coach, community. So we do have a community online. It's called the Soccer Performance Academy, where we actually have like-minded individuals. They ask questions. There's tools, resources, all kinds of different things. Okay, we have community for you. We have to get your club, if possible, on board. We need to have a coach along with you. That could be me as well, coaching you and mentoring you. And we need to realize that we need a multidisciplinary team. Maybe they're not with you on staff, or maybe you're not in a setting where you have all these people available to you. In a professional academy, okay, these young players, they do have, all kinds of different people that have some sort of specialty within a different type of profession. Okay, so for example, a fitness coach or a performance coach, a sports psychologist, a skills coach, a nutritionist, a sports doctor, physical therapist, a sports agent. I mean, maybe you don't have this type of people right now. You don't have access to them directly, but it is important for us to get an idea, or at least put a name and a face to this type of people who eventually will help you in this process. Okay, because it's not just the physical, it's not just the technical, it's not just the tactical, it's a lot more things to it. Okay, it's also the mental, it's also the nutrition, all kinds of things. All right, so if you do have access to these people, then that's great. And if you don't yet, then you need to start identifying the people who can possibly help you in case you are ready to maybe invest the time, energy, effort into this type of people who are probably going to help you out within this process. This is just taking it to another level, which that's the reason why we're doing this in the first place. Okay, so that is video 3. And then, it's important that you watch the video 4 as well, because this is how we're putting everything together. We structure systems in place in order for us to keep performing our day-to-day and or weekly and monthly type of activities that will keep us aligned, that will keep us on this path. Okay, so keep on watching. See you soon.